Let's freaking go. Buff Nation, we got some great news. And hey, coming off a 3-9 season, I think the off season is in a good place right now. It's on a good start. We're going to talk all about Alexander Ward reclassifying to join the class of 2026 with his brother Christian Ward. The IMG pipeline continues. And then also something to pay attention to is we also have a big time offer to Kenny Darby. Could this possibly be telling us about a new staff member coming to see you, particularly maybe the next offensive coordinator? We're going to get into it. Of course, guys, be sure to smash that like, subscribe. I'm out of YouTube jail. So, hey, if you guys send super chats, I can see that now. If you guys want to join my Discord, join like the $2 level on my membership. That's going to be great. And of course, shout out to Kalshi, guys. Use the code DTB for a $10 bonus once you deposit 10 or more on there. We'll take a look at the odds for the national championship later on. But guys, this is great news. This is great news. And you guys know, man, I was concerned about us losing more recruits after having a 3-9 season. We lost Gavin Mueller. This is a win for Coach Prime and whoever the hell is left on this recruiting staff. We kept the rest of the 10 guys, forgot to say that. So, yeah, let me pull this up. All these guys have announced that they're shutting down their commitment. They're locked in. And this is huge. Again, guys, like, yes, would it have been nice to have 20, 25 commits? Yeah, sure. But put that conversation to the side. The fact that we were able to keep these guys is it's giving me hope. It's giving me hope. Love to see it. Carson Crawford, Preston Ashley, Domata Pecco Jr., Rodney Colton at linebacker. Yes, Christian Ward, Xavier Payne, Ben Gula, Josiah Manu on the offensive line. We got 3 offensive linemen coming in here. Josiah Manu, Colorado kid, love that. Kobe Johnson, linebacker, and Maurice Williams. Thank God, dude. All 10 of these guys are locked in. I mean, there were scenarios, guys, in which I thought, man, we were going to lose some of these guys. And to only lose pretty much Gavin Mueller and, man, the guy from that flipped to Indiana. I can't even remember his name now. So, hey, you're dead to me. Just kidding. But we got 10, and now we got 11 with, shout out to ScoBuffs22 for putting this out there. Rivals, talking about how athlete commit Alexander Ward has reclassified to the 2026 class and will sign on December 3rd. That's tomorrow. So we're going to have 11 commits. Can we get Joseph Pecco here as well? That would be huge for our defensive front. And yeah, so we could be up to 12 guys tomorrow, guys. That's really my hope. And hey, we might get another one as well. If you let me go ahead here. Oh, yeah, Jack Crawford, the big CU donor tweeting out the dominoes are falling. This is pretty interesting. Then he talks about the Buffs just offered Kenny Darby following his decommitment from LSU, and Cortez Hankton was his primary recruiter. I believe it has been reported that Cortez Hankton let go by Lane Kiffin. Was on that LSU staff. And guys, he's been a guy that we've talked about on this channel before when the Buffs were looking at possibly hiring a new OC after Sean Lewis and ended up just sticking with Pat Shurmur. But, he's been a guy that's been loosely on my radar for a while. Co-offensive coordinator over there at LSU, works with the wide receivers. And Sco Buffs is pointing this out. Byron Leftwich and Cortez Hankton came into the NFL together. He's saying my ideal is to have Cortez as OC and Byron Leftwich as quarterback coach and support. That would be interesting. Kenny Darby, again, out of Louisiana, has decommitted from LSU. It's looking like Mississippi State is in there right now. I don't know how recent that crystal ball is, so we'll have to see. But love to see that we've offered him. And if Cortez Hankton is coming out here, that would make sense that we would extend an offer. So out of Louisiana, just like Omarion Miller is, 92 rated guy from 24/7, 4-star guy, a top 10 player out of the state of Louisiana, a top 30 wide receiver, and the 203rd ranked player nationally. I mean, this would be awesome get. So this is going to be something to keep in mind. But really, man, I just wanted to get on here and talk about how this is a big win, guys. Like honestly, um, hopefully we can keep Jordan Seaton here. Some of our other core players that do have eligibility left, but the fact that we were able to keep all 10 of these guys is massive. And then when you look at Alexander Ward, he's another 4-star guy. Again, and his intention, I forgot to say this, according to Bird's Eye View, he let me know in the Discord that he intends to play both sides of the ball coming out here. And I think he can genuinely do it. I think that similar to Travis Hunter coming into college football, I think that he kind of profiles to be a little bit more stronger at the corner position. I think that's primarily where he was playing at IMG. But hey, we got another two-way athlete that I think has the ability to do it. Now, granted, reclassifying just like Juju did, so we'll have to see how it all goes. But Alexander Ward and Christian Ward, two wide receivers that hey could be joined alongside Kenny Darby, have a really strong core of weapons with the weapons that we also brought in last year for Juju Lewis in the foreseeable future. So I'm very, very happy about this, guys. Again, we could be Penn State right now, 0 recruits. We could be Nebraska right now, right? They got a winning record and they can't recruit more than 10 guys right now. I think they got 9 commits, so that, not to say that this is something that, um, you know, I wouldn't like to see. I would like to see us do more high school recruiting because I honestly feel like we're good at it, but man, this just makes me really, really happy that all these guys are locked in, coming off a 3-9 season. Let's get Joseph Pecco, please God, another defensive end linebacker to come in here. That would be great. But Carson Crawford, Rodney Colton, and Colby Johnson. I mean, these guys should have the opportunity to play early. I think. Hopefully, we can invest and get a real good transfer portal linebacker. We'll have to see. But ultimately, guys, this is step one entering this week. It needed to be keeping all these commits. Okay. You did that. Okay. Number 2, getting more commits. Well, you at least got Alexander Ward. So you're there in that respect. It would be great to get Kenny Darby and Joseph Pecco here as well. So maybe it could be up to 13 by the end of tomorrow. That would be really great. Number 3, you need to be firing a bunch of the staff. And sounds like that's been done. It just hasn't been announced. And then we'll get some news on which staff members are joining the Buffs now. Because then you need to hire new coordinators, coaches, all that. And then from my understanding is that's when, after all that stuff is done, that's when the GM is going to get hired. That's when you're going to blow out the recruiting staff or some of the recruiting staff and hire more people there. So that's kind of the process right now. So step 1, we did it. We aced it. At this point, I'm very happy about that. So this isn't going to be too long of a live stream. I'll get to some of your comments, guys. We got 117 people in here. Again, please be sure to subscribe. I'm out of YouTube jail. What's up with that? So thanks for sticking with me while I've been demonetized all football season long, basically. Like, really appreciate you guys. And I'll get to some of your comments here before we take a look at some of these comments. Now, hey, we'll start here from the top. RMJ, what's up, man? Let's go, Buffs. This is good news. Tim saying, I hope all these rumors are real, especially about the OC. Yes. Let's take a look at the OC, okay? Yeah, that's right. That's right, Dante. I had to say the next Travis Hunter, man. You guys know. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I do play the clickbait a little bit, I do that unashamedly. Okay. I am a hype beast. Okay. But let's talk a little bit about Cortez. And by the way, who says Alexander Ward can't be the next Travis Hunter? Yeah, that's right. But if you're wondering a little bit about him, again, he has been the co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach at LSU for a handful of years now. Let me see here. Well, I guess the last couple of years. Then he was passing game coordinator at LSU and wide receivers coach in 2022. This year, he was co-OC and wide receivers coach. And then once Brian Kelly got fired, he was also the interim running backs coach. How about that? And then he was at Georgia for some really good years that they had, passing game coordinator, wide receivers coach, and then has coached wide receivers, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Dartmouth, played with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's see. I'm assuming he played wide receiver. Yeah, played wide receiver and played with the Jaguars, Vikings, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the New York Sentinels. Is this like a UFL? Okay. And the Florida Tuskers, Virginia Destroyers. All right. Never heard of that. UFL. All right. But NFL, some NFL experience. What I love to see is that he's been at good programs, guys. Georgia, LSU, baby. He has been on staff and has played a role in that Jane Daniels Heisman season. We like to think that, hey, Julian Lewis has that Heisman type of upside, right? Well, this is a guy that's been around it and seen it happen, kind of sees how it looks. So that's nice. Now, granted, hasn't called plays yet, and that would be the biggest risk. Hiring Cortez Hankton, he would be like the first-time play caller. Now, maybe if you get Byron Leftwich here, as Scobuffs 22 is talking about, all right, okay, cool. He's called plays before. Maybe he can help out. Maybe he's calling plays. I don't know. But there's something with Byron Leftwich. Now, I know it's reported he had some family issues or whatever, but I mean, this guy quit on us twice. Prime did 2 introductions, one for him in the spring and then one for him in fall camp, man. And we just didn't see him throughout the whole season. I don't know why that is, but it's like he's been out of the game for a while now. I think there would be some other guys that I'd prefer, but you can sell me on that these guys have been teammates. Maybe there's a lot of good synergy, right, between Cortez Hankton, Byron Leftwich, and maybe it's just the right recipe for success. But right now, I think I would like to go with a more college success, like college offense type of thing. I shouldn't have expected Pat Shurmur to understand how to use the spacing and speed advantages in college football that good offensive coordinators get out of the college game. That is one concern that I do have about bringing in another NFL guy is just, can you make the transition? We know Chip Kelly can, because he can't call an NFL offense. We know that. But yeah, anyways, bring in Cortez Hankton. I'm about it. He's also Texas Southern University's record holder for receiving yards, 3,400, and receiving yards in a season, 1,270. Wow. So how about that? Also from New Orleans, Louisiana, St. Augustine High School. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, yes, please. I think that this would be a lot of fun having him out here. Again, he's been a guy that I've kind of had very vaguely on the CU radar for having. Penn State players are available. Yeah, and we brought some decommits out here a couple weeks ago for our last home game, and it just seems like we couldn't close on any of them, man. So maybe again, we still have a few guys that are uncommitted that we've offered. So we've already said you're good enough to play for the program. Again, we gotta fill out like 70% of our roster again this year. You can have a big high school class and a big transfer portal class. So, yeah, but if Cortez Hankton is the OC, this would be something that I'd be bullish on, man. Again, doesn't check all the boxes, because ideally you'd like to have, in my mind, an experienced play caller that has, done it and has years of experience doing that. Maybe you could get somebody at like the G5 level to come up here. Will Stein just left Oregon to be the Kentucky coach, but I believe he was the coach of UTSA before coming out to be OC at Oregon. So maybe you could do something like that. Again, we kind of did that with Sean Lewis. Other reasons, it's a different situation, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. I think the process was right in a sense, but Prime and the OC, there just needs to be an alignment of this time. Let the OC play his brand of football, man. We've seen these Sean Lewis offenses. There's one time these Sean Lewis offenses did not look like a Sean Lewis offense. It was his time here at CU. And it's imperative for long-term success for the OC to have autonomy in how he's calling the offense, have a big say in recruiting, which I don't think should be an issue, and of course a say in who the staff is. We'll have to see. And we need JUCO kids, man. I would love to have some JUCO kids here, man. Hey, shout out to Kareem. Probably my favorite JUCO guy we got on the team right now. If he's hired, man, Prime better stay out of the way. Yeah, man. Well, we'll have to see. But yeah, he's somebody that we can't have. As much as Prime says we got to run the ball, man, he just doesn't run the ball. We ran a little bit more this year, but we need an OC that is going to have control that's proven to do it. And again, the big risk on Cortez Hankton is that he hasn't called plays, but he's been around a lot of great offensive minds. He's been on staff for a lot of great offenses. So that's eventually you got to get your first time calling plays. Could be here with CU. Um, Primary said Leftwich didn't want to leave or move his kid. Well, then why the hell did he say yes? And then back out of it. NFL staff hasn't quite worked out. Yeah, that's okay, man. The definition of insanity is just doing things over and over again. If you go back to some of my early videos, in the first like 6 months or a year with Coach, I talked about how this thing is so unconventional. It's different than the norm. You got to view it like a startup, right? And when you're really entrepreneurial, uh, you're starting something new, maybe a new product that could change the market, right? There are going to be some things along the way that just don't work out, and that's okay. Like as a startup, got to be lean, flexible, and it's okay to change. It's okay to make some adjustments, and I th- I'm hoping that this is the year in which we see some of that happen. We've kind of seen this NFL thing play out. Um, it's not enough in itself to get the really the right talent and coaches here. Shermer was better than Brett, though. The two running back system's not bad. It's hard to just judge Brett on the last like 3 weeks, man. It really is. Not given a whole offseason and camp to install the offense. I'm not going to really hold Brett too much to the fire with that. Defense was worse than our offense this year. They were both bad. They were both sub 100 ranked offenses and defenses in the FBS. They were both total ass. The defense was on the field for a lot more this year because the offense was so ass. I don't know. They were both terrible, Dante. I wouldn't split hairs over it. They were both atrocious, but hey, Robert Livingston, he's going to get this year. Maybe if you give him, I still think he's a good mind, but let's see what he can do. Hopefully, having some more say in the talent and more say in his assistant coaches. I think that's be huge. So, I mean, Coach Prime said, "Hey, this was like the Last Supper." So hopefully that means, yeah, a lot of these guys gotta go. A lot of these guys gotta go. We'll have to see. Did you see the interview where Coach Sanders laughed at Brian Howell? Which time? Which time are you talking about? Hey, let me know. I'm not going to go on for too long. Yeah, Dante has a lot to learn. Same defense for 2 years. Yeah, there hasn't. Yeah, some of those play calls. And I think that this is something I wonder is just Prime adamant that we play a ton of man coverage. You know, Carter Stoutmeyer probably shouldn't have been the starting free safety, for as long as he was, right? I don't know if Prime's the best talent evaluator when it comes to those sorts of things. So I hope Rob gets a full shake this year. I think if he left at this point, that could be a bad thing, right? But at the end of the day, we're 3-9. I mean, it can't really get much worse. Only 3 games worse. So nowhere to go but up. Right? It was on Matt's podcast today. I did not watch Matt's podcast. I'm sorry, guys. I have been essentially out of the office the last 2 days. So just catching up. But hey, let's talk about it. Poly Market, the college football champion. We're gonna do it. Not Poly Market, man. It's just reading an article on Poly Market. Please don't get rid of me, Kalshi. Oh, come on now. Hey, look at this. Indiana, Ohio State. It's gonna be Ohio State. The college football championship over on Kalshi. Again, code DTB for a $10 bonus once you deposit $10. But right now, guys, Ohio State's at 38%, which means, dude, you can just make the no play right here for Ohio State. But hey, right now, I think that Ohio State, I think they're the team that I'm gonna pick. But I think, man, it would not surprise me, man, to see an Indiana out there, and those are pretty good odds. So I haven't decided who I'm gonna play yet for this college football championship winner, but I'm gonna be doing it over on Kalshi, not freaking Poly Market. Goodness, Facebook feed, what are you doing, getting at me? Um, trust me, it's worth the watch. I'll have to find it after this and in my Broncos show. So, um, they're running it back next year with the same coaches, D-Rex. Man, if we see Coach Hart, all these guys return, Kevin Mathis, who else we got? Yeah, honestly, I would like all the defensive assistants gone, except maybe a couple. So, yeah, that, and honestly, everybody on offense can go too. Our offense wasn't very good either. So that's how I feel about it. But, anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. When you're watching the replay, be sure to let me know your thoughts on it. Smash that like, subscribe. We're growing like crazy. We are taking over the internet and the Broncos, guys. We're 10-2. We're amazing. We just got the clutch factor. If you're interested in the Broncos, you can check me out on David Talks Broncos. And I got a show coming up here at the top of the hour at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, Horsepower Hour, with some of your other favorite Broncos content creators. So, yeah. This is one of those guys that Prime was talking about when he said some players decommit from one place because they're unwanted. They saw one season at IMG when he transferred and said, nah. Are you saying Alexander Ward was told no by the University of Alabama? Is that what you're saying? Dude, we got Big Dick Bo. Dude, that's right. Bo knows. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful evening. I'll be back again tomorrow.